a friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 634. Got in that neighborhood, my brothers and sisters. As we proceed to give you what you need, we are going back to AJ from the Y Files. Back to the Y Files, y'all. And this is a very special reaction to the Y Files because it is my 50th 5-0 Bean Team reaction to one of AJ videos. And all I can say to that really is, let's get the reaction 100, man. Like, seriously, y'all, because I love this guy's videos, love his freaking channel. And it feels like every time we watching a video from AJ, it feels like we are embarking on a journey. You know what I'm saying? With AJ and Hecklefish. Shout out to Hecklefish. Can't forget about Hecklefish. But it feels like we are embarking on a journey with them throughout these videos. And guess what, Bean Team? We are about to go on another one. And the title of the video is Project Redsun, NASA's secret manned mission to Mars. Now, I don't know what the freak of Project Redsun is, but we're about to see. But before we see, Bean Team, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need, please. It is that time of the week when we let our inner geek. Y'all got what y'all need? Y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
This episode of the Y Files is brought to you by Delete Me. In 1957, a small metal sphere blinks its way across the night sky. Sputnik, the first human-made satellite, marked the beginning of the space age. The American public was terrified. The U.S. government responded by creating NASA in 1958. NASA presented itself as a civilian agency focused on science and exploration. The truth was different. NASA had one mission: beat the Soviets to the moon. They planned 3 stages to reach that goal: Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo. Mercury proved Americans could survive in space. Gemini showed they could work outside their spacecraft. Then came Apollo, 20 missions designed to land humans on the moon. Apollo succeeded. Neil Armstrong stepped onto lunar soil in 1969. That was Apollo 11. Apollo 12 followed. Apollo 13 famously had a problem, but Apollo 14, 15, 16, and 17 were also successful. Moon landings had become routine. Then, suddenly in 1973, Apollo was shut down with 3 missions to go. Budget cuts. At least, that's what we were told. But there is another theory, that Apollo 18, 19, and 20 weren't canceled. They were carried out in secret and were successful, and there's footage to prove it. But it's not footage of a moon landing. In 1973, NASA landed on Mars.
Get whatever you may need. Shout out to all AJ and all Hecklefish with their commercial, man. But I'm just sitting back like, yeah, I could see that. Like, that's plausible. That's a good theory in my head, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but that makes sense. That the Apollo missions, no, they wasn't canceled. They was just redirected to another location from the moon to freaking Mars. It sounds possible and plausible to me, man. I don't know about y'all, but let's get through the freaking commercial. This is gonna be a good one. And then AJ said that they got actual video of this ish. Let's go.
The space race began as soon as World War II ended. America struck first, launching fruit flies on a V-2 rocket to study radiation's effects on living organisms.
Oh, the V2 designed by Werner von Braun.
Yes?
Did you know that von Braun was a Nazi who joined the SS, won 2 medals, and attained the rank of major?
Yes, I knew that.
Oh, did you know von Braun's rockets were built using slave labor from concentration camps?
Yes,
The rockets killed 9,000 civilians in London, but 20,000 prisoners died building the rockets. Multiple survivors said von Braun ordered this, though he denied it.
I know.
But when von Braun agreed to work for the United States under Operation Paperclip, his war crimes were forgiven. He became the first director of NASA's Flight Center.
Okay, that's all true, but every time we talk about von Braun, are you going to bring up the Nazi stuff?
Every time.
Okay, let's...
Every time.
Fine, cool.
By the way, von Braun got along really well with Walt Disney.
What does that have to do with anything?
A few people out there know what I'm talking about.
I'm just gonna tell you myself, Hucklefish, I didn't know nothing about Von Braun doing all that craziness. Let's go.
The Soviets launched Sputnik in 1957. It was their first victory in space over the United States, but not their last. Both nations poured billions into their space programs. To the American public, the space race was about technological superiority. Landing on the moon became the ultimate prize. But behind this public competition, something else was happening. The US and Soviet Union were working together in secret, and their goal wasn't the moon. It was to establish a human colony on Mars. They called it Project Redsun. The project was inspired by earlier plans, specifically Project Horizon. Proposed in 1959, Horizon was a plan to put a nuclear-armed military base on the moon. A lunar base would give America unmatched military power over the entire planet. The Soviets would be defenseless.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
But as nuclear arsenals grew, both sides realized a war would destroy humanity. So they created a backup plan. If nuclear war or a natural disaster threatened Earth, the human race would continue on Mars. Getting there wouldn't be easy. The moon is 239,000 miles away, a 3-day journey. Mars is a different story. Its distance from Earth varies between 34 million and 250 million miles as both planets orbit the Sun. America had the Saturn V, the only rocket powerful enough for the journey. The Soviets had better safety systems and life support technology designed for extended space travel. The trip to Mars would take 6 months. Alone, neither side could do it, but together, Mars was within reach. Now, March 23rd, from a secret facility deep in the Amazon jungle, the most powerful rocket in the world was launched.
Hang on.
What?
Why are they launching rockets from the jungle?
Well, NATO and Warsaw Pact nations tracked every launch from the US, Europe, and Asia. But a rocket lifting off from Brazil in the southern hemisphere, no one would notice. That rocket carried humanity's most advanced spacecraft, the Interplanetary Space Vehicle, or ISV Columbus. Its crew included 2 Americans, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, and Soviet cosmonaut Vladimir Ilyushin. Columbus touched down on Mars 158 days later. The crew documented everything they saw. Their logs, films, and video recordings went straight to NASA's classified archives. The public could know about Project Redsun. So why hide mankind's greatest achievement? Because once the crew landed on Mars, it didn't take them long to realize they weren't alone.
I knew AJ was about to say that, man. I knew he was about to say they went alone when they got on Mars, because I was sitting back wondering, as he telling this first part of this story, I'm like, why would this even be a secret? You know what I'm saying? That humans have landed on Mars. Like, this would be the greatest thing in human history. I don't care if it's the Soviet Union, USA, Americans, or Europeans, Africans, Australians, Chinese people, like, no matter what. Just the human race, period. The greatest thing would be us landing on Mars. So why would they not be telling us? Because, boy, they was not alone, and it was extra freaking terrestrials when they landed. That would have got to be right, Bean Team. Like, seriously, man. Project Redsun. Is it real or not? I'm on the fence. Let's get some more evidence.
In 2011, Italian journalist Luca Scantamburlo held a press conference to announce that Project Redsun was real. He had witnessed statements from Project Redsun workers, emails, documents, but that wasn't the big reveal. At the bottom of his statement was a photograph that silenced the room, a grainy image of Buzz Aldrin walking on Mars. When it comes to Mars, Buzz gets excited, and that's when he lets secrets slip.
Fly by the comets, visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars. There's a monolith there, a very unusual structure on this little potato-shaped object that goes around Mars once in 7 hours. When people find out about that, they're going to say, who put that there? Who put that there?
Now, maybe Aldrin only saw images of the monolith, but other astronauts dropped similar hints. Gene Cernan was the last person to walk on the moon. He spoke about going back to Mars.
Buzz does want to go back to Mars, and I support that, but I believe we should do it in a logical stepping stone process.
Okay, maybe he misspoke, but a minute later, he said it again.
Good to talk to you. Thanks.
But John, can I just say one other real quick thing? You know, I'm not going to be there when we go back to the moon and on to Mars, and it may not be this president or those who follow.
Scantamburlo had more. A whistleblower he called Bravo X Sierra 24 smuggled photographs out of NASA's archives.
I introduce to you a press release testimony I have written to discuss the presumed existence of a hush-hush military space program called Project Redsun, carried out in the 1970s of the last century to build a stationary base on Mars, the Red Planet. My source of information, named by me, Bravo X Sierra 24, contacted me by email. It is possible to reproduce the pages of the press release and the picture presented here as well.
And after looking at them pictures, y'all, it make it hard to believe it, man. Like those are really, literally, I tried to say really and literally at the same time. But those are literally or really pictures from freaking Mars. I don't know, man, like how grainy it is and all that. And then now we living in the year 2024. You know how AI has just took over everything as far as like when you see images of stuff, you don't know if it's real or not. I could freaking, long story short, story long, make some pictures that look better than that and more convincing than that people have visited Mars. I don't know, man. Those images not really moving me. Long story short, story long. I don't know if they real or not. But let's find out.
The images are blurry but unmistakable. Astronauts collecting samples on rust-colored terrain, a temporary habitat, a rover. One photo shows astronauts examining an artificial object in a crater. Behind them stands a pyramid reminiscent of ancient South American structures. NASA denied everything.
Yeah, of course they did. Never a straight answer.
The denials made sense. The photos are terrible. But Scantamburlo wasn't finished. As word of Project Redsun spread, more whistleblowers emerged. And now he had evidence of a 1973 Mars mission. Actual video footage. Now, to be honest, a lot of people have requested I cover Project Redsun, but a press release and some blurry orange photos didn't sound like much of a story to me. Then someone sent me the video and I was hooked. The footage opens with NASA's logo and an internal use only warning. A title card appears. Welcome to ISV Columbus. Date 1973. The next shot shows Earth through a spacecraft window.
Holy shit!
Then quick shots of the astronauts aboard. Another card marks day 10 of their journey. Earth and the moon drift past the windows. At 1 minute 7 seconds, the shot reveals they've traveled much farther from the Earth. Day 100. More glimpses of the crew. Beyond those early views and brief interior shots, we don't see very much. But then at 1 minute 46 seconds, we're at day 158. They should be close to Mars. An astronaut moves past the camera. A reddish blur crosses the frame.
Wait. Was that Mars? Did they really show Mars on this thing?
They do. We're only halfway through the film, and you're not going to believe how it ends.
Oh, shit. I'm like Hucklefish. I done got the cussing now. What the freak? Okay, I take back everything I said earlier, y'all, when I was trying to talk about the AI and stuff with those pictures and how those pictures could be doctored and could be fake and all that. Man, that was real footage, y'all. And this back, even... when I'm talking about AI, yes, I'm talking about the year 2024, but I know those pictures was produced, back in the 70s or whatever, but even back then, people was faking images, man. You know what I'm saying? Photoshopping and image faking been here forever, but now we talking about video? Man, that freaking video looked pretty damn convincing to me, Bean Team, especially like the shot of the Earth with the moon, and you can see how those astronauts or whatever was going further and further away from Earth. And then AJ said we got even more footage to see. Hey, now I'm hooked. Like he said, he wasn't hooked earlier, but now he hooked. And I was saying the same thing, basically. Now I'm hooked. Now you're starting to convince me. Let's find out. Let's see about this footage of Mars.
The Columbus journey lasted 158 days. Soviet life support systems and radiation shields kept the crew alive, along with experimental technologies inspired by Project Horizon. The crew logged everything they saw. Years later, their records leaked. Then came the film. Columbus approaches the red planet.
Holy sh!
I know, and watch your mouth.
Sorry. This is unbelievable.
Oh, just wait. As we get closer, we can see Mars's features more and more clearly. At 2:06, the planet's terrain fills the windows. Some quick crew shots, then the camera captures Columbus's exterior. Below is Valles Marineris. The image finally focuses as we zoom toward the canyon at 2:59. At 3:12, Mars's surface appears in stunning detail. More surface features, a little more inside the ship, and then this amazing view of Victoria Crater. A few more shots of the crew, then we begin the descent to the surface.
No, I'm gonna need my glasses.
Yeah, the Apollo missions had this problem too. The astronauts took actual film, so the images are pretty clear, but the external cameras were television cameras recording video, so they're not good at all. Still, we can get a sense of the landscape and the speed. Finally, the landing module touches down, but look closely.
What the hell is that?
I don't know, but it's not wind. Something is definitely moving down there. It looks like it's under the surface.
Shia-Lude. They're the sandworms from Dune.
I know what they are. Anyway, the video ends there. NASA continued to deny Project Redsun. Sure, the film could be fake, the photos could be fake, but NASA fakes photos and film too. Nobody knew who to trust. Then came the bombshell. A new witness stepped forward. Not only was he part of Project Redsun, he said it was still operational and had been to Mars that year.
Wow.
And he brought video to prove it.
More freaking videos, y'all. More freaking evidence. I don't know if this is real or not. I don't know if this was all staged or what, but I'm just thinking about this was in the 70s, man. How many freaking years ago that was, BT? That's over 50 freaking years ago, man. They was faking ish back then with the videos like that. I mean, yes, we know they was, but I don't know, man. I'm still on the fence, Bean Team. I'm still on the fence. And I know at the end, AJ is going to debunk a lot of this, but it's so just fun to just have that open mind and just think, what if that footage is real? Let's go.
Secrets don't stay buried forever, especially something as big as a hidden mission to Mars. Decades after Project Redsun's supposed landing, insiders began talking. Jackie, a retired NASA employee, called into the Coast to Coast radio show.
Oh, with that Bill.
George Norrie.
Oh.
Jackie described watching a Viking lander's live feed from Mars in 1979. The camera captured two men in protective suits walking toward the lander.
But they came over the horizon walking towards the Viking Explorer, and our vision got cut off. I didn't see what they did with it or anything else.
They were probably making repairs.
Jackie said there were 6 other witnesses watching the feed with her. NASA cut the feed when they realized their mistake. Jackie said the Viking program wasn't searching for life on Mars. It was covering up missions already there. William Rutledge came forward in 2007. The retired astronaut claimed he flew on the ISV Columbus and ISV Melbourne. He said Apollo 19 and 20 continued in secret. Their missions were to retrieve alien technology from both the Moon and Mars. Rutledge described finding alien tools, spacecraft pieces, even a preserved body. We covered Apollo 20 in another episode. It's one of my favorites. And if you've never seen it, you're not going to believe the photos.
Apollo 20 video down here in your chatterpot.
According to Rutledge, NASA and the Department of Defense launched several manned missions to Mars through Project Redsun, some as recent as 2011. And here's video from that mission. A distant shot of Earth. Then we get closer to Mars. You can see the color is much better now. Here's a shot of the astronauts. There's Mars out the window as we get closer. Now the video becomes spectacular. Through the window, we can see Martian terrain very clearly.
Holy sh**.
I know, and what'd I tell you?
Sorry. Go ahead.
That video and the testimony of Jackie and William Rutledge align perfectly with records leaked by another whistleblower, Gary McKinnon. Gary is a Scottish computer engineer, and he accessed Pentagon and NASA systems in 2002. You'll hear it reported that Gary hacked into NASA. He didn't. He scanned their networks and found computers that had weak passwords or no passwords at all. He said he was looking for evidence of UFOs, but he stumbled onto something bigger, a spreadsheet labeled non-terrestrial officers, and a list of Navy ships that don't appear in any official registry. We go into all the details in our Solar Warden episode, which is about America's secret space program.
Link to Solar Warden down yonder.
Physicist Dr. John Brandenburg has a theory that an ancient Martian civilization was destroyed by a nuclear attack from an alien race. He believes NASA is hiding evidence of this ancient conflict. His theory is grounded in science, and we explored this in the Face on Mars episode.
Link is it's below.
NASA dismisses these stories with vague denials. Whistleblowers are branded disgruntled or untrustworthy. It's a common tactic. Raise questions about their credentials, question their motives, and watch the media mock their claims. But if these claims are fantasy, why monitor and intimidate whistleblowers? There are a disturbing number of cases where whistleblowers report being followed by what we'd call men in black, and soon after they end up in fatal car crashes or have heart attacks. Are all these cases a coincidence?
Nope. It's murder. Murder most foul.
It sure seems that way.
It sure do seem that way, man, because, hey, AJ has spoke about this throughout a lot of his videos, how a lot of these whistleblowers randomly, I gotta put it in quotation marks, being seen, end up dying by some random ish. And it just be like, man, is this really a coincidence? Or did these people really know some ish and they was telling some truths out here that the government, NASA, whoever, the aliens, the government who working with the aliens don't want you to know about? It really make you think. Murder.
But those are pretty aggressive measures to protect a fantasy. Denials will only work for so long. For every whistleblower that's silenced, another emerges with more details. They can't suppress them all, not with stakes this high. If Project Redsun is real, it's humanity's greatest achievement. It doesn't belong to a select few gatekeepers. It belongs to all of us. We own the information. We're not going to learn the truth by asking for permission. We have to demand it.
And that's what I was saying, man. Like, dude, if this is true that humans have walked on Mars before, it's humanity's greatest achievement, just like AJ just said, man. So why keep it a secret other than the freaking aliens? Y'all seen that video clip when it looked like someone was crawling from underground like this out the dirt? I don't know what that was, but maybe that's why they keeping it a secret from us. But that'll just be crazy, man, to one day hear the government admit that they've been on Mars before. Project Redsun. Let's go.
The story of Project Redsun is a frustrating one. Like I said earlier, lots of people asked me to cover this, but the images were so bad I didn't think it was worth it. The story's obviously fake, but then someone sent me the video, which got me interested. Then I started researching and saw there might be something to the story after all. But first, let's dismantle the hoaxes. Yes, both videos are fake. Frame 1, the NASA logo. Fine. But look at the pixelation. Now the warning. The text is crisper. This is an edit. We're not off to a good start. This shot of Earth was taken from Apollo 8, rotated and blurred.
So they use fake images of a fake moon mission to make a fake video about a fake Mars mission?
Can we just focus on this for now?
Link to fake moon landing episode down in your chum bucket.
Bill Anders, Apollo 8. Here's the Earth-Moon system from space. Scale is all wrong, but the scale is right in this shot. That was taken from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter mission in 2022. Gene Cernan, Apollo 17. More Apollo 17, but the shots are taken out of order. Day 158, Mars approach. Wait, Edgar Mitchell, Apollo 14. That's from the Mars Global Surveyor mission in 1999, blurred and brightened to wash out the color. Oops. Film sprocket holes are supposed to be on the left and right side, not top and bottom. More Apollo 14. Global Surveyor again. Now we can match up the features. I love this one. That's from a photo of the Soyuz TM-33 docking with the International Space Station on October 23, 2001. But the Soyuz was pulled out. The original was from Wikimedia Commons. Martian North Polar Ice Cap, 1999, lifted directly from Wikipedia. Destiny Module, 2001. Apollo 14, and then this amazing shot of Victoria Crater taken from Wikipedia. And before landing, we have this perfect shot from Apollo 7. And here's the Mars landing. This is from the movie Alternative 3, released in 1977. As far as fakes go, I thought it was pretty good. The original fake was created by someone named The Faking Hoaxer, and you could see his watermark on the video. But most people post his video cropped in without the watermark, and most versions have the Apollo footage removed, so it's not quite so obvious.
Well, this has been thoroughly disappointing.
Sorry. Now, I can't debunk the entire story of Project Redsun, but I can shred that second video.
Oh, no.
Hey, man, I'm with Hecklefish. This has been freaking disappointing. AJ just killed my whole dreams and hopes of this being real. Not that I was dreaming and hoping that it was real for real, but I had that thing inside me just wondering if this was possible, that this freaking video was real. He do such a great job of hooking you into the freaking story, making you want to believe that the issue is real. But it's just crazy how that was just a montage or a mashup of a whole bunch of different Apollo missions and different images from Wikipedia and all over the place that somebody just put together. It's crazy, man. They'll trick you out here, y'all. Don't believe everything you read. Don't believe everything you see. Let's go.
Gene Cernan, Apollo 17. Some images from Luca Scantamburlo's report. Most of these are also Apollo 17. This one is obviously out of place. It's from the BBC documentary Exploring Mars. The same Mars surveyor photo from before, but this time the color is more visible. Mariner 7 mission. Expedition 40 in the summer of 2014, astronauts Steve Swanson and Reed Weissman on the ISS. This is a good one. You can tell this is the ISS from the windows. Here's how they did it. Grab an image from the ISS and pull it into After Effects or some kind of video editor. Mask out the window. Throw some orange behind it. Crank up the contrast. Dirty up the windows. Make everything just a bit blurry. I know my version isn't perfect, but I did that in about 8 minutes. And if you look at the hoaxed video, you can see they were just as sloppy with the mask as I was. The edges aren't round. That's someone who doesn't know their way around a Bezier tool.
Bezier what now?
Bezier, it's the tool that lets you draw curves.
Then call it a curve drawing tool. Bezier sounds elitist.
It's French.
Exactly.
And you know what? Now that AJ explaining it and breaking it all down to us, y'all, when I was talking about earlier how I could have freaking did the AI with the images and stuff, now that I think about it, I could have made a whole video like they did of that ish. Seriously, man, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, saying that I'm this master editor or nothing like that, but I'm saying, man, I could have came up with that freaking hoax my damn self. And like AJ shown what he did within 8 minutes. Like, it wasn't that hard. See, this is the thing I think where they got us at. It was a montage. It was a whole bunch of different images and videos that they put together. That what made it more believable than anything. Hey, W hoax, 2 thumbs up.
These shots are nice too. They're from the European Space Agency. We've got the Yanni Chaos region, the Corrales Chaos.
Why do they call these areas chaos?
Because they're chaotic.
That's it?
That's it.
I was hoping for something more, outer spacey sounding.
How about this? This is Casse Vallis and Sacra Fosse. Casse is the Japanese word for Mars. It literally means fire star. Vallis is Latin for valleys. And sacra means sacred or holy. Fosse is plural for the word fossa in Latin, which means ditch. So Sacra Fossa means...
Holy ditch.
Basically, yeah.
Now we're talking.
Another area of Casse Vallis. And the video ends. So both videos are thoroughly debunked.
Let me ask you, how long did it take you to find all those shots there, boyo?
It took me well over 100 hours of searching Apollo footage and images from every space program and Mars mission going back to the 1960s.
Yeah, and you wonder why you burn out?
I don't wonder that.
You spent 2 weeks working on 4 minutes episode.
Yeah, it's called commitment.
It's called OCD.
I can't argue with that.
2 weeks.
So the videos are definitely fake. As for Jackie from NASA, I couldn't confirm anything about her story. She didn't sound like a scientist to me, but who knows, she might be telling the truth. William Rutledge is considered debunked. There's no record of him being an astronaut, and it's not like there are that many astronauts. There are records of all of them.
Yeah, not if they're secret astronauts.
That's true, and that's what Rutledge says. There's no record of him because it's classified. Which brings us to Gary McKinnon. He says that he found proof of a secret space program, and I believe him.
It was an Excel spreadsheet, and there was a non-terrestrial officers list, and I can't remember the file name of the spreadsheet, but the heading on the column was non-terrestrial officers. Well, obviously it wasn't aliens, it wasn't, little green man. I took it to just think there must be evidence of an off-Earth fleet. If you have non-terrestrial officers, you must have spaceships that are based in, maybe geostationary orbits, who knows?
Now, I don't know if there really is a secret space program, but I believe Gary found something. And whatever he found was so sensitive that President Obama, the DOD, and the DOJ tried to have him extradited to the US. They wanted to put him in prison for 70 years.
For accessing computers with no password? How was this on him?
The charges filed against Gary say that he wasn't authorized to access those systems. The charges fail to mention that NASA and the DOD were sloppy with their network security. That's one of the reasons why the UK didn't allow the extradition.
He will not be going to the United States anytime soon.
Here, here, God save the Queen, pip pip.
Yeah, that was a pretty big deal. The United States isn't used to hearing no.
And I trust that this will get resolved in a way that underscores the seriousness of the issue,
The coalition came into power. They blocked the extradition.
but also underscores the fact that we work together and we can find an appropriate solution.
He will not be going to the United States anytime soon.
Now, what doesn't help the story is that movie I showed you before, Alternative 3, that aired in 1977 as a mockumentary about a secret space program to Mars by Apollo astronauts in coordination with the Soviets.
We obtained an acceptable picture, which you are now about to see as we saw it.
And when it aired, people thought it was real, and Project Redsun seems to follow along with that plot almost exactly. So some of the evidence of Project Redsun can be dismissed, but not all of it. A lot of Project Redsun's claims were later proven to be true, like there was once water on Mars, lots of it.
Tonight, for the future of everything, we're going back 3 billion years into the past. Picture Mars as a world with water. According to NASA, oceans covered as much as 20% of the red planet.
And the documents leaked to Scantamburlo have coordinates that overlap with rover landing sites. Now, if I were a conspiracy theorist,
Truth seeker.
right, if I were one of those, I would be suspicious. It's almost as if NASA is carefully managing the flow of information and expectations about Mars exploration. Now, I don't think it's a coincidence that this is happening at the same time that space exploration is becoming privatized.
And if you warm Mars up, you will, there's a bunch of frozen CO2 that will evaporate, densify the atmosphere, and
Get your ass to Mars.
you'd actually want kind of global warming on Mars.
As companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin head toward Mars, they'll operate with less public oversight than government agencies.
Open your mind.
You know that if Elon Musk lands on Mars, he's going to tell us what he finds. The US government doesn't want Elon exposing them for lying to the public.
You mean exposing them for lying to the public again?
Right. So while SpaceX prepares to go to Mars, NASA can slowly release more and more information, so that by the time SpaceX gets there are no more surprises. And NASA's probably okay with this. Elon thinks he'll be making history by landing human beings on Mars, but it may very well turn out that all he did was create the perfect cover for a classified space program that truly never ended. Thank you so much for having.
That's a good freaking point, AJ. If Elon was to get all his millions and billions of dollars, if he was to use that to finally visit Mars one day and think he's doing something so groundbreaking, man, all you could be doing is just covering up for something that the government been doing for freaking ever, man. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying, that NASA been doing for years and years and years. This freaking Project Redsun, y'all, was a great journey to go on with AJ. I was leaning, y'all know how I do with these videos. Sometimes I'm believing it, then I stop believing it, then I start believing it some more, then I stop believing it some more, and then we get to the end, AJ bring a lot of evidence that gonna pretty much debunk everything, and I think he debunked this Project Redsun pretty good, like all around, man. Like there are some things that'll make you think, especially that whole Obama thing and trying to bring that man over to put him in prison. Like that dude probably do know some ish that y'all ain't want out there or whatever. But as far as like overall, yeah, I think it's a lot more things that lean me towards that this whole people landing on Mars is fake. But at the end of the day, like I said, y'all, anything is freaking possible and anything is plausible when it comes to this just life in general. But when we specifically talking about space travel, especially to somewhere like Mars, because I don't know if I said it earlier, but I'm gonna say it again, man. I feel like Mars is out of all the other planets in our solar system, Mars would be the most plausible one to visit. So it is possible, my brothers and sisters. What a crazy freaking video. And it was just crazy how when I was watching the video clips of the people who had went to Mars, whatever that clip or video was, just watching it looked so real when they put it all together. But then when AJ just broke it down, this picture came from Wikipedia, this picture came from this magazine, this video clip came from Apollo this clip came from Apollo this, and they just all mashed it up together. It was like real freaking clever, man. It was real freaking clever. But at the end of the day, yes, it more than likely was freaking fake. Especially when I know me not even being a great editor, if I really put my mind to it, I can come up with some fake hope-ish like that. And I feel like that's one thing that just gonna elf human society up from here on out, and been effing us up for some years now, y'all. This whole AI thing, I gotta bring the AI thing back up, man. Like, it's gonna be so hard to go back in history, y'all. Like, okay, it's 2024. Let me just give y'all a really quick example, and I'm gonna let you go. It's 2024, right? So let's just go, because that was supposedly happening back in the 70s, so like 50 years ago. So 50 years from 2024 would be 2074. Now imagine somebody going back and looking at some film from 2024 and 2074. It's gonna be so hard for them to believe what they watching is real, because they know how AI is and how anything can be freaking altered, especially by the time they get to 2074. That is freaking crazy. Like, stuff beat, man, that AI is, y'all. I just feel like it's gonna elf stuff up, and it's really gonna elf freaking history up, because we ain't gonna know what to know is real or not. But I think AJ did a great job of debunking this. And I digress. I'm gonna go let y'all go now, man. As y'all see, I can get to rambling about this freaking Mars and the moon and the whole universe. Y'all know I love that stuff, and I can keep going on and on about it. But like I said, I'm gonna let y'all go. And before y'all leave, just please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that if you ain't did that yet. And remember this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.